Hey guys, it's Lisa and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a updated Peperomia collection video. I haven't done one of these in over a year, so it is well due for an update. You will see my Peperomia collection has changed quite a bit in the last year. Some Peperomia I have added to my collection and some I have basically gotten rid of from my collection. Either, well, generally because of root rot is usually the main culprit for why any Peperomias are no longer in my collection. There are a few that I would like to repurchase and give them another go. Yeah, anyway, I think we will just get started on this video and I'll show you guys all the Peperomia that are currently in my collection. Okay, so the first Peperomia that is in my collection, I don't think that this was in my collection a year ago. I think I got it sometime after that last video and between now. But I can't tell you how long I've had it for. I have absolutely no idea. It is my Peperomia Hope. So here she is here. Now this girl, she is quite a fast grower for Peperomia. I often find that my Peperomia are quite slow growers, but this girl, she's been growing really fast. I believe when I first got her, she was only maybe 3 vines. This is definitely a new vine since I got her, which I can tell because it's not yet long enough to become heavy, so it hasn't started dangling. So at the moment it's still sticking up straight, as you can see, which is kind of cute. I don't know. And then I have trimmed some of these stems in the past, and you can see that they're putting out some new growth points. So I trimmed it there. It's continued to grow and popped out a second growth point here, and I believe I also trimmed this here and it's popped out another growth point. So yeah, these ones are getting quite long. I might actually trim them so they're more like the same length as these two, and then hopefully it will start to thicken up even more from doing that. She's very similar to Peperomia Delts, which I will show you my Delts soon, but the leaves are quite big. They can get quite big. Like this is definitely way bigger than my finger. Yeah, she's super cute. Okay, I'll show you my Peperomia Delts next. Well, that one's still clear in your mind. So this is Peperomia Delts that I was just talking about. Just brighten that up. So yes, it is super cute. Honestly, I've had this for years and it's still in this tiny pot. It's actually slowed down in growth recently. Probably ever since we moved house. It used to grow a lot faster, but it is still growing. Like you can see that these are new leaves. It's actually got a flower at the moment. There's a flower, so it is growing. It just kind of stopped for a little bit and now it's like growing again. This one is one of the only plants that I trust putting cloning paste on. I've put cloning paste on it so many times and it's just like, it loves it. It actually works. It usually puts out lots of different growth points from wherever I put the cloning paste on it. This was only like 1 cutting and then I added I think 2 more cuttings to it, and the rest of it is just from me trimming it, putting cloning paste on it, and then it's just like put out so many different growth points all by itself after that. I love it. I love how like randomly shaped it is. It's just really cute. I love the stripes. I love that the dark kind of stems. It's just real cute. Okay, and then a very similar Peperomia. This is Parallel Peperomia, or some people call it Peperomia tetragona. I don't actually know what the proper name is. There's like so many different ones. Some people, there's like Parallel, Tetragona, Quadrilangus, I don't know. Anyway, usually these two get mixed up, so Peperomia Delts and Parallel. So Parallel has slightly bigger leaves. They're a bit longer. It's also got more pinky stems than this one, which is more like a little bit darker, and the leaves are also a lot brighter and it has more contrast in the patterns. So yeah, this is my Parallel Peperomia, or whatever you want to call it. This is a couple of cuttings in the one pot. I used to have this one cutting and it was just so slow to grow. It's sort of started. I kind of think I want to put a few more like extra cuttings in here though. Like at the moment there's I think 4 growth points, so yeah, I might want to put a few more in there and just make it more bushy. Plus there's like quite a few gaps, so like maybe one here, one on this side, just so it's a little bit fuller. At the moment it's putting out quite a few leaves, like most of these have just come out recently, so that's exciting. At my old house it literally did not grow for like a year, so it's actually doing something now, so that's good. Okay, the next Peperomia I have pretty much always had in my collection, but never the same one, if that makes sense. So this is my watermelon Peperomia. Very cute. It is a little bit thirsty, as you can see by how easily you can bend the leaves. So after this I'm going to give it a water. But yeah, it is a Peperomia watermelon, or Peperomia Algeria. Just to clarify what I meant at the start of that little introduction, what I was trying to say is this is my third watermelon Peperomia. Like, I love it, but I always just struggle with them so much. My first one, it was just like such a disaster. It just got really, really ugly. And I just kind of gave up on it and sold it. Then I got another one. So by the way, all of these have been from Plant Project, because I just think that when you get them, they're always like the most biggest watermelons and have really great like patterning. So I've just always got them from them. But I do not blame them for the loss of my other ones. It was totally my fault. So the second one did a lot better, and it was happy, and it was growing, and it was doing really well. I kept it in my prop tank because I think that these guys are like quite a lot of humidity, and the first one I had, it didn't have enough light, and that's partly why I don't think it did so well. So the next one I was like determined it was going to be fine, it was going to have lots of light and lots of humidity, great. And then after a couple months I was like, you know what, I'm going to repot it. It pretty much just died after that. So I have figured out that Peperomias, particularly watermelon Peperomias, seem to hate being repotted, so I'm just going to leave it in this pot in the soil for as long as I possibly can until I see roots coming out the bottom. So if that's like a year, whatever, who knows. And I'm just going to be super careful about watering it only when it's dry, not over watering it, and I'm going to feed it some Foliage Pro as well regularly to make sure that it doesn't get a calcium deficiency. So at the moment it's looking nice, but that's because I only just got it like 2 weeks ago in the post. But long may it continue to look beautiful. Fingers crossed. If you have any extra tips for me, please let me know, because I really want to keep it alive this time. Like, I don't know, if this one dies, I might just have to give up. Like, how many times do you think you should try it before you just kind of like give up on it? I don't know. Next we have a Peperomia Tricolor. Very cute. This recently had mealy, or I think it had mealy. It was near some plants that did have mealy, and I think I saw a little white spot on it. So anyway, I just treated it. Didn't really like the neem oil. It's okay, but if you look at the like undersides of some of the leaves, you can see some black spots. Those were there before I treated it with neem oil, so I think that didn't like the neem oil. But luckily the fronts of the leaves all look fine. It's just the undersides that are like a little bit sad. You can't really tell on the front, so that's okay. I'm just not going to put neem oil on it again. Peperomia Tricolor, I mentioned this just recently in my latest haul video. I used to have one of these a long time ago. I don't even know if it was in my last Peperomia collection video. I might have gotten rid of it at that stage. But anyway, I wanted to repurchase one as soon as I had space to do so, because I think they're stunning. I just love the pink. I love pink, so you know, like any plant that's pink, I just need to have it. Plus even the stems are pink. So, oh, there goes a leaf. So yeah, I really love Peperomia Tricolor. It's beautiful. Stunning. Yeah, I don't know if you're seeing a trend, but I don't really have any rare Peperomia. To be honest, I don't even know if we have rare Peperomia in New Zealand. Like all the Peperomia that I can think of that used to be rare, they're just really common now. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you live in New Zealand. Pop down in the comments below, are there any rare Peperomia still left, or are they just all common now? Because I don't know. But anyway, I love Peperomia, and as I said, since I've had my new house, more room, more light, just been purchasing a few plants that I've really wanted but haven't had space for, and that are quite common. I tend to, at my old house, just have mostly like uncommon plants, because I knew that if I ever moved I would hopefully be able to just get the common ones, and since they're common they're like easy to get. So that's basically what I've done. So another plant that I've wanted for ages and then I've just been able to get it is one of these, Peperomia Red Edge, or I think it's a Peperomia crucifolia. I'm not sure, I'll put the name down below, but it's definitely called a Peperomia Red Edge as its common name. So yeah, I got this big boy off Trade Me. I really wanted a big one. They're like very common in plant stores, but they are always so small, so I found like a larger one on Trade Me that was still the same price as like all the ones in the plant stores. So I was like, yeah, gonna get it. It's got a bit dirty leaves, I need to wash them. I think that was from where it was living previously. But yeah, so it is a Peperomia Red Edge. So I just like the big leaves, and then they've got this kind of like red, dark red, maroony kind of sort of edging around the leaves, if you can see that. To be honest, I was never that fussed by these. One of my partner's aunties has like quite a large one of these in her house, and it kind of made me really want one. So yeah, now I've got one. The next three Peperomias, sorry, are all at my office at work. So I'll just pop a picture of them here, but I don't have them with me because I couldn't be bothered going into work to bring them home to film a video and then take them back. So yeah, anyway, so one of the Peperomias that I have at work is my Peperomia Moonlight. This guy has not been doing that well recently. It was struggling for a while. Just a couple of weeks ago, maybe like a month ago, repotted it into a clear pot and put fresh soil in to see if that helped. And I've moved it to my office at work because this is quite bright, so I thought I'll see how it goes there, and it was kind of the perfect shape for like a cubby hole that I have that it sits in. So yeah, hopefully it will be okay, but as it is a common plant, I mean, worst comes to worst, if it doesn't make it through, I'll just probably get another one. But hopefully it will be fine and it will recover. And yeah, it's just a really nice plant. I just like the colour because it's quite different to a lot of other plants. It's more like light blue than green, which is really, really cool. This plant actually used to be really rare in New Zealand until like a year or so ago, and then they released them commercially and now they're like common as. So yeah, the next Peperomia that is in my office at work is my little Peperomia Wavy Gravy. So I used to have a big one of these and it kind of just got root rot and it died. It's real sad because I love Peperomia Wavy Gravy. It's one of my favourite Peperomias. But yeah, it didn't survive. Someone gave me some free cuttings that they had, and they're just in a little pot, but they haven't really done too much, to be honest. They did get a little bit neglected at some point, so that's probably why. But anyway, so that's just in my office at the moment to see if the nice light and warmth will help. See if it cheers it up, I guess. Hopefully it will, and if it doesn't, then yeah, I really want to get another nice big one, but there doesn't seem to be any on the market at the moment, which is a real shame. But as soon as I'm able to get a big one, I think I will. The next Peperomia that is in my office at work is my my reverse variegated Peperomia scandens. So I got this as a wee little cutting a couple of years ago from a lady that I talked to on Facebook, and she gave it to me for free. It was like this big hush hush secret at the time. She was one of the only people who had them, and so for a while I was like the only person in New Zealand that I knew of who had one. I'd never seen them, but then one of the plant stores, I can't remember who it was, it might have been Node maybe, they released them. So now they're not yeah, like it's like $8 for a cutting, so super common. But for ages I was like stoked that I was like one of the only people who had one. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got a rare plant. But yeah, it's interesting how things go. But anyway, it's still doing okay. It's kind of getting really tall now, so I'm trying to decide, do I just let it go floppy or do I keep put a trellis in? I don't know. What do you think? Pop down in the comments down below what you think I should do. And the last Peperomia that is in my office, my Peperomia Rosso? I think it's a Rosso. So I had one of these when they first came out, but it got really bad root rot, like the worst root rot I've ever seen. I don't even know how. I think it already had root rot when I purchased it, and then it just got worse. Like, it smelled rotten and there was like mold everywhere, like white mold, and like it was black and brown, and like it just smelled like literal garbage. So that went in the compost. But I just got another one recently, and I put it in my office at work, so we'll see how it goes in there. Hopefully it does a bit better. I've been like really careful with watering, so hopefully it should be fine. The next peperomia I just got recently. It is very cute. It's quite funny. I didn't want, like, I've never really been interested in these, but I saw this one on Trade Me and I was like, it's so nice. I like wanted this specific one. Like, I wasn't interested in any other plants of that species except for this one. Followed it for like 3 weeks and it kept closing and no one ever bid on it, and I was like, oh, because the postage was like $25, and I was like, I don't really want to spend $25 on postage. Anyway, I won it and they changed postage to like $12, which was more reasonable, and so I was like, yeah, cool, that's great. So it's a Pepperonomia Pixie, but I just love this one because it's so full. Like, I've never seen such a big full one before. I used to have a teeny tiny one of these and it was like not that much to look at all. I was just like meh, but I really love this one, and look how many flowers it's got. So yeah, I have just recently repotted it so I can make sure I don't overwater it, and hopefully it will continue to grow okay. It's got a few like funny little leaves, but I think that yeah, it's just got a few leaves that have had like an edema in the past, but they came like that, so it probably was just from previous watering. So hopefully all the new growth will be fine, but just like, how pretty is it? It's just so big. That is, yeah, like I've never seen such a big peperomia, and a Peperomia Pixie, and that's what made me really want this one specifically, was how big it was. So yeah, I love her. She is stunning. Oh, so beautiful. She's like one of my favorite plants at the moment just because it's so big. I don't know, I just look at it and I'm like, feel really happy. So yeah, that's my Peperomia Pixie. She's beautiful. Okay, my last Peperomia is this guy. You also saw this recently in my updated haul video. It is my variegated Peperomia polybotra, the white version. As I said in that video, love, 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 love. I used to have a variegated polybotra that was like a dark green and it had yellow variegation. I kind of want one of those still again, that would be nice, but this is definitely my favorite out of the two. Like, she's just so stunning, and I haven't killed her yet. And again, the trick is I haven't repotted her. It's still in the potting mix in the pot that it came in when I got it from Plant Project. So yeah, basically any Peperomia that I get from Plant Project from now, I'm just gonna leave them in there for like as long as possible, because every single Peperomia that I have bought from them and repotted has died, and the only ones that are okay are the ones that I haven't repotted. So I don't know, normally I normally repot pretty much as soon as I get a plant, but they are the exception. So yeah, anyway, she's just so beautiful. This is like my favorite leaf, I think. It's just really cool variegation. Some of the leaves are quite big. This is a pretty big one. So yeah, and again, I just water her when she gets like, when her leaves are really easy to bend. So at the moment it's quite hard to bend them, so she's not ready for a water yet, so probably soon. But yeah, I'm just trying to kind of like fill her out. She's got this massive trunk, if you can see, look, huge trunk, but she's just popping out a little baby down the bottom, so that's really cute. So yeah, that is my Peperomia polybotra variegated, white variegated. Okay, I think that is all the Peperomia that are in my collection currently. There's not actually that many. I'll have to add up how many I had before and see if it's gone up or down, or if it's still the same. I'm not too sure, like, because there's so many that I've gotten rid of, or like don't have anymore, but then I've also purchased more, so I don't know if it balances out or not. But anyway, I don't think there's really any other Peperomia on my wish list at the moment, except for I do want to get another Peperomia incana. It's again another common Peperomia. I really love another one of them, and also a maculosa as well. But again, I've killed 2 maculosas, so I'm kind of like, do I get it? Do I risk it? I don't know. And I also would like to get the more common Peperomia scandens, just the one that's in a variegator. Yeah, so it's got the yellow on the outside and the green on the inside. I would like one of those as well, but like a nice big full one that I can hang. So I'm just waiting till I find a nice big one, because they're very common too, but all the ones I've seen are too small, so I'm holding out for that one. So yeah, pretty much all the Peperomias that I want are all common. Oh, and a Marmarata. I want another Marmarata. I also killed my Marmarata too, so there's been a few Peperomia tragedies in the last year, but that's okay. Hopefully with all this sunshine they're gonna do so much better than they did in my old house, where I often just would have to put them in like low to medium light because they could sort of tolerate it better than some of the other plants, or because they were common, like I wasn't as concerned about something happening to them. But now they have a chance to all have lovely sunshine, so yeah. Anyway, that is all for this video, so I will see you next time, and you know the drill. Please subscribe if you like my channel and you haven't already, and give this video a like, and I'd love to have any feedback down in the comments below, and hopefully you're enjoying my new setup with my plants. I'm trying to find like different places in my plant room that I can film, but it just depends on the lighting, so yeah, we'll see where I'm sitting next time. Okay, see you guys, bye.